Finally. I feel like shit. You know what's even better than feeling like shit? When your office doesn't have any heat in the middle of winter. So we're going to keep this pretty quick because I would like to go back home to throwing up in the comfort of my own apartment. So this is a board that comes from Verge. I'm probably mispronouncing his name, from the forum. Now, as you guys know, Duke and I operate a forum where we go over board repair questions, specifically on MacBook motherboards. And there's this one board, and it seems like, in spite of any of the advice that we gave, we weren't able to get far with troubleshooting it over the internet. Jessa, at one point, came in with some interesting commentary, as you can see here at the end. This is a picture of Jessa right over here. This is exactly what she looked like throughout most of college, I imagine. You could see with the tie and the red blazer and the very, very, very adorable haircut. So she came up with all this. So let's just go over some of the things that I think are important to new trainees that are going to be working on this stuff. First thing, just do me the favor of just put the right screw in the right fucking hole. So if you look over here, you'll see that there's this thing where I think my microscope camera caught the same terrible disease that I did, because it doesn't usually look like that. Okay, let's try to figure out what the fuck happened to my microscope camera before I continue the video. There we go. There we go. All right. I'll blame Jason for that one, because Jason's the one who uses my computer when I'm not here. So the first thing that I would like to attract your attention to, if you look inside this screw hole, you'll see that there are scratches inside. And there are scratches inside the screw hole because somebody put the long screw in the short hole. And I know I'm going to see a lot of jokes in the live chat about certain things, but that's not what this is about. It's about putting the right size screw in the right hole. The second thing that I'd like to suggest, in addition to putting the right size screw in the right hole, and I know that he's the type of upstanding citizen that's going to do the right thing, even though he's new to this by his customer, because that's what he does. But I'm just pointing it out just anyway, even though I know he's probably a nice type of honest guy. He's not like all those other repair shop schmucks that send shit here and tell me they're going to tell their customer to use a USB Wi-Fi adapter. I know that the upstanding type of repair shop people that are post on my forum, if they do this to a customer's wireless antenna cable while in the course of removing the motherboard, I know that the upstanding citizens that are on my repair forum would replace the Wi-Fi antenna before they gave it back to their customer, because leaving that like that would be wrong. I know that he's nothing like all those other degenerates that have used my services in the past. When we asked, would you like us to replace the Wi-Fi antenna for you at cost? We've had people say, no, we already sold the customer on a USB Wi-Fi device. I know that he's not that type of degenerate, which is the only reason I'm bringing that up. But, excuse me. So let's see if we can, Let's see if we can figure out what's wrong. So the first thing I see here is that PP Bus G3 Hot was measuring OL on the multimeter. So let's just go over something with OL. OL can mean a number of different things depending on whether you have or have not read the manual. To those like me who 16 or 17 years into playing with this stuff have never read the manual, OL means that you're in resistance mode and you're not touching anything, or you're measuring something with a resistance that is higher than what it is set to check. So you can have your multimeter set to go up to 10,000 ohms resistance, 1,000 ohms, 100,000 ohms, a million ohms, and if let's say if you're in the 10,000 ohms mode and you measure something that's a million ohms, you're going to get OL. If you have the multimeter set to regular mode and you're not touching the probes together, you get OL. You don't get OL when you're in voltage mode. You don't. You get OL when you're in the resistance mode. When you're in voltage mode, you will get 0 if you're not measuring something, and you will get 8.56 volts when you measure PP bus G3 hot. Now, if you have a voltage mode multimeter where it allows you to measure in certain increments, like, you know, like up to 1 volt, up to 5 volts, up to 10 volts, up to 100 volts, up to etc., then you may get OL if you're measuring 8 volts and you're set into the 100 millivolt mode. Most digital multimeters that I've seen don't work like that anymore. I mean, if you have some really old esoteric multimeter, maybe. But 99% chance you're using a multimeter that you bought for $1, in which case you stop that, or you're in resistance mode and you should be in voltage mode. So PP bus G3 hot does measure 8.56 volts here. Now, third thing that I'm going to go over. Looking over the parts that Duke had asked him to measure, all good points. You can take the multimeter probe and you can simply tap it to the board. So if I want to measure something like, say, oh wow, the microscope is moving back and forth with me. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Whoa, this is tipsy. Oh boy. Wow. Oh, maybe I should put something over here to keep this from falling off the table. Yeah, let's see. Here we go. Get a nice counterweight over here. All right. There we go. Okay, so if we go over here, now, you can probably guess which part was the section that was measured, the part that was scratched. Or let's say over here, you can tell the part that was measured based on the part that is scratched. This is not necessary. You do not need to scratch. You can just watch. Like when I want to measure a probe, check this out. I'm going to measure this, no scratch. Measure this, no scratch. Measure this, no scratch. Measure this, no scratch. Now, on occasion, I may slip and scratch. I am not a perfect human being by any means. But if I do this, 99% of the time I will not scratch. Whereas here, I can actually see for certain, because one of the conversations I had with Duke after looking at this board was, did he measure the points I asked him to? And I said, I can be certain that he measured every point you asked him to. And he signed it with a signature. Measuring with the multimeter does not mean scratching or stabbing. It's just a tap, a firm tap, but a tap nonetheless. Now, let's see if we can figure out what's wrong with this. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to look in the live chat and see at what point you guys can come up with what is actually wrong with the board. Because I think YouTube live chat has a better chance of fixing something today than I do. Now, to put this in perspective, right next to the point that Duke was suggesting he measure, right next to this point over here that Duke was suggesting be measured, we have this. Right next to the points that Duke was saying, look at, we have this. Which, by the way, no, like, not to pile on, but can we give it up for Duke Fox from the forum? Does this guy not know how to fix motherboards via the internet or what? Look at this. Right next to the point that Duke said, check here for a problem. We have this, like right next door. Dude, is Duke not good at this, or is Duke not good at this? So let's look up what this clearly broken trace is for. So let's go over to the board view software. Duke, if you're watching this, give yourself a round of applause, because you guessed it. Now, SPI_CSO_L. This is going to it. By the way, another hand of applause for Paul Daniels, without which we would not be using this amazing software that allows me to see not just what the point's name is, but exactly which 2 points it interconnects. It interconnects these two BIOS series termination resistors. So see, this resistor over here connects this part of the BIOS to here, which is then going to connect it to here, which is then going to connect it to something inside the CPU over here. So that's how the BIOS communicates with the CPU, which in this machine houses the PCH, which it would also be considered the North Bridge or South Bridge on an older platform if you're not used to the naming scheme. And that is an important thing. So let's just check over here for some continuity. So we're going to do a continuity check to see if that point beeps. If it does, is it going to beep? The 2 points, it needs to beep. So this over here has got to connect with something over here that I forgot what it was. It was this thing, right? Shit. Okay. And it doesn't beep. So we need to run a wire. So let's go ahead and run a wire. And run a nice looking little wire. And I'm going to use the wrong soldering iron tip to solder this because I don't feel like changing it because I'm cold and just want to go home. So we're gonna do this as quickly as humanly possible. Alright, we're gonna do this. And where were we? It was this thing, right? Okay, it was you. Look at how big the soldering iron tip is they were using for this. Is that not the most inappropriately sized tip you've seen for a soldering job in a long time? You should be used to seeing inappropriate tools and methods used for soldering if you're on this channel. So we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I should probably put some flux there, and I saw something move that probably shouldn't have, so we should address that. We should address that. Shouldn't just let a crummy joint sit there as a crummy joint. This. Come on. Good little wire. Alright. Now, we're going to attach this over here. And then the computer's going to turn on and we're all going to go, yay! I'm not sure how I'm going to attach that wire with this tip, so I'll just change over this thing. And we'll be all set. We have to make an acceptable looking joint. Something at least semi-acceptable. I can live with this. I think I can live with this. Alright. But now, the main question. Does it work? Does it work? Of course, I should route the wire around in a sensible fashion. Does it work? And? Ahem? Oh, seriously? There's more? Oh, there's more? Oh, there's more. Alright. I guess now to find the rest. So first thing to do is confirm that I reattach the proper wire. Oh, I attached. Yeah, that is correct. That is indeed correct. Alright, so what else do we see here that could give us a hint? We need a hint. Let's see, are we entering an SO state? We are in an SO state because I have 5 volts at the fan. Ah, the fan cable is broken. The fan cable is broken. When I tap on the fan cable, the fan spins. You've managed to break one of my primary diagnosis devices. How did you do that? How did you know to break one of my primary diagnostic devices? The fan cable. I need the fan cable. Okay, and there's one more in the pile from him. Oh God, the germs inside my body do not compare at all to the germs present in the chat. Oh boy. This is some cancer and hep C and oh. Is there anything to read from here? Well, we move on to the next one. Next one in the pile from Mr. Raj. Dead after ultrasonic. How many people want to place their bet on U1950? Are those gloves used to prevent impurities? Yes, impurities. AKA my hands from touching your nasty shit. Those types of impurities. Here we go, magnet. What is 820-3437? It's a phone number. Okay, so the chat is funny every now and then. I'll give you guys that. Oh. Any bets on you? What? No. No. You can't tell me this is dead after ultrasonic. You can't tell me this was dead. No. No. You're not... Raj, you're not blaming the ultrasonic for this. Bullshit. How many ultrasonic cleaners have done this? Can you smell this? Because I can smell this from here. What the fuck? the last time your ultrasonic cleaner did that? I can smell this from here. And I should just let you all know that I don't have a sense of smell right now. So if you had a sense of smell, I can only imagine what this would be like. We're gonna have to go over what you're putting in your ultrasonic cleaner. Got almost every screw out of here. Oh my Jesus Christ. How? Why? How? What did This smells really, really bad. Okay, first thing to do is let's look up what that is responsible for, so we can try to gain a greater understanding of why it looks like that. Do keep in mind that when you see transistors that are very, very large in size, they're usually large in size because they're designed to deal with lots of power. Chips that are designed to deal with lots and lots of power, they do not usually fail that obviously, unless they're designed really poorly or you just beat the piss out of them. So let's see, what is Q7434? What is Q7434? Q7430. What do you do? What do you do? Q7430 is for the RAM. Rest in peace, RAM. This board may not be fixable because I have it on a good authority. See, if this thing got destroyed, right? This means that most likely the 12 volts from up here, PP bus S5 HS computing, that's just another way of saying 12 volts in this case. So see how we have the list of power rails here? PP bus S5, it's blah 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 equals 8.6. It's actually 12.6. Apple doesn't know what the fuck they're doing when they write this. So this is 12.6 volts over here. And if we go back to where we were, Q8430, what this is doing, 7430, where was I? Here, yeah, yes, Q7430. So what this does is this does switching. So this chip will control this transistor, which turns on and off and on and off and on and off. And then through the coil, it's going to get straightened out. And through the capacitors, it'll get straightened out even more until it's a nice, even 1.35 volts. If this shorted and died, most likely for a short period of time, 12.6 volts without being switched, just straight up 12.6 volts went to the RAM. Which means that when I fix this board, there's a good chance that it will beep at me. And that's no good, because I'm not wasting time replacing 16 little individual RAM chips. That's a fucking waste of time and hell. So let's... that's what we call next ticket. Why is it a waste of time? Okay, let's say that you replace... Let's say you replace 16 little BGA chips and it still beeps. How do you tell which of the RAM chips you soldered is either soldered improperly or broken? How do you tell which of the 16 chips is the one that's bad? I'm waiting. Do you resolder every single one? Do you replace them all over? And even if so, how do you know that it's the RAM and not the CPU? It's too much risk and waste. Don't get it twisted. I would do that. I would do that if I had one repair a week. That's where you must analyze your own business model. For me, I would find that to be a waste. I don't know. How can I tell if my girlfriend is pregnant? They make tests for that, you know. I'm stunned. Can't you test one by one? Good luck with that. Does anybody see the word foobar in this chip? Look. F-O-O-B-A-R. Foobar. This board is foobar. That's heat. Heating and heating and heating. Oh, this is warped. This is fucked. This is not gonna want to come off. Oh, it is gonna come off, but what is it gonna? Oh god. Oh shit. What? It's. Oh, dude. What the fuck is... No. This is not gonna come off without taking half the board with it, I'm afraid. Yeah, this is no good. Oh. Son of a bitch. How about this shit over here? What do we do with this? Alright, so this coil is gonna go. I know Jess is gonna be mad at me. And this shit over here. Let's finish separating the transistors elements from... No throwing in the towel yet, man. We're not done. Oh god. Okay. We're close to done, but we're not done. So stop calling for us to be done. Because we're not done yet. Oh god. What is this shit? It's not done yet. Just because you all seem to give up so easily. I get it that you all give up easily. Yeah, I see you all like to give up. We don't believe in giving up here. We mail it to Lewis so that he can give up for us. That's what I think happened here. Nobody gives up. They send it to me, and then I say no, and then they say sorry. We would have loved to fix it, but this jackass in New York gave up. This... As long as Kate Floss is with me, I'm gonna keep going. It's been a long time since Kate has been on a live stream. Kate is always there when you need her to make sure that the trolling is high and your self-confidence is low. So now that we have Kate, we can go. Alright. Put in some flux to ensure that we have a nice clean solder joint. I think I forgot to tin a pad there. Let's see, that's something that we need to do. We don't need pads. You think we need pads? You think we're that fucking primitive? Oh shit. My chip blew away. How am I gonna be able to tell it from the original now that they're both on the table? I have no way to tell this chip from the original chip that I took off. Maybe you guys can help me tell. Is this the chip I was gonna put on? Is it this one? Is it this one? Don't troll me, guys. I need to know which one is which. Is it this one? Or is it this one? Fuck, I forgot which one I need to put on the board. It's either this one. It's never any good when you forget which one's which. I'm gonna hope I guessed and chose the right one. Here's hoping this is the proper chip. Alright, so now we have to get a way to connect the other legs of the transistor. To this trace and this capacitor. Because I ripped off the trace going underneath the transistor. First thing to do is make sure that this is not shorted to ground. And wait, this is shorted to ground. Oh. Huh. Yeah, that's definitely shorted to ground there. That's no good. I don't want to give up yet. Should we give up on Roger's board? What kind of loser squad would we be if we just gave up on it? Yeah. Yeah, I think we'd be some kind of loser squad if we gave up on this. But you know what? You know what? We're gonna continue. We're gonna continue in and remove the short. We're actually gonna go, we're gonna dig boldly past any YouTube board repair technician has ever gone before. And we're gonna find the short, and we're gonna remove it. We're gonna dig it out. We're gonna dig it out. See, we're gonna dig this shit. That's right. Fuck you. Get the fuck up out of here. Short, where are you? Where are you, Short? Are you in here? Are you in here? Should I desolder the capacitors or should I simply remove the core? What should we do? Okay, get the... It looks like we're still shorted to ground. Fuck. I do think it's time that we inject voltage to find out the location of the short. I think it is time to inject voltage to find the location of the short. Perhaps this can bring us together. I think that would be the best thing to do here. Where can we find some voltage to put on the board? Does anybody have a power supply that we may be able to borrow? Does anybody have a power supply that we may be able to borrow? We need to borrow just a little bit of voltage. Perhaps somebody has a little bit of voltage we can borrow. Maybe somebody will come by with a little bit of voltage that we can borrow. We'll just stand by and see. Ah, it looks like somebody brought by some voltage. How nice of you. Thank you. Okay. Voltage. We'll start with just 1 volt because 1 is a nice kind number. And of course, before we actually inject anything, let's remove the solid state drive. So let's see. Is the short in the board over here? Or is it somewhere else? Perhaps over here? What's this little component that's on its side? Look at this thing just chilling on its side. Try this freeze spray shit. I never used the freeze spray. We'll try the freeze spray. So nothing on the bottom of the board at all. I wish I could get a view of the whole board in microscope cam, but that's just not happening. Now let's do the top of the board. Freeze, fucker. Alrighty, so we're nice and icy. And where? Oh. Shit, it ain't there because it's icy. Yes, the entire board has become shorted to PP Bus G3 hot. And the entire board is evenly dissipating the power that I'm putting through it. This is fucked. And I would bet my cock and balls that this did not happen from an ultrasonic cleaning. Yeah, this board is cold as ice. There's nothing. Yeah, this is fucked. Rest in peace, mofo. I'm sorry, little board. You're done for. I don't know how the fuck this happened, but you are dead. Everyone will get a lightning cable and plug it into the bottom half of a mini DisplayPort connector and watch what happens. No. No. I don't like fixing Thunderbolt and DisplayPort circuits. Don't tell people to do that. Then they'll be forced to ask me to do that and realize that I never do it. Alright, so that's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. So always look for the corroded vias. If Duke asks you on the forum, hey, how does this area look? Actually look at it before you say that it looks fine. And if you're gonna ultrasonic a board, just make sure that there's not like a bunch of angry termites or some shit inside your ultrasonic cleaner before you put the board in it. And that's it for today.